G'day, Tragic here, and this is something new for people who are regulars to my channel, and for those who are not, you probably got here through the workshop on Steam, as this is my first ever mod for Tabletop Simulator. Now I'll try and be quick and succinct. Basically all this mod is a bunch of 6 small meshes for the standard RPG dice. Now they are set up with the same face configuration as Chessex RPG dice, which are my favorite dice. Now, there's a few things that are different. Basically, if I just go to the chest and load up the default dice that come with it, remember these can be changed color, they just come in these colors. There's a couple of things I didn't like about this. For starters, the D6, even if I get they have another D6 as well with rounded edges, but the D6s use pips, but all the rest of the dice use numeric values, and I just didn't like that, so I've provided a numeric value D6. Also, if you see when you have dice selected, the default dice selected, when you mouse over you get this little pop-up that has the dice faces, plus it also has a total. Now I don't like that at all, especially for games that have non-numeric values on their dice, you know, like punches and shields and swords or whatever. So the main reason behind this mod is that if you select custom mesh dice, they don't have that pop up at all, which is really good in my opinion. Also, while I was doing that, I provided these things here. This is part of my own mod, which I think other people may like. Basically, these are just die dispensers. They're infinite containers that contain dice. And the idea is that you can just put these on your player board or somewhere easily accessible on the table. And when people need dice, they can just grab whatever they need and then delete the ones, you know, that they've used. And also what's good is you can actually just, if you pick up something, you can just right click and it will just pick up more. So you can pick up, so I need 2 D6s, I need 1 D4, boo, and there you go. And that's a very easy way to handle dice. Now these containers are over here. Basically they float off the ground by themselves, so no matter where you place them, they'll always, you know, float a little bit above the ground. And I think most people, these are the ones they're going to use. You'll note that there's nothing actually in them at the moment. And the reason for that is that I wanted people to have the ability to scale these to whatever size they wanted, independent of the dice inside them. So if I grab this dice, I can have a tiny little dice inside there, or I can have a huge dice. So what you do, once you get everything to the size you want for your table, say I want big dice like that, you can just drop it into this container, and then it is now got those size dice inside it. And that's pretty much that. Obviously put the dice of the same color in the same container. But also over here is another set of containers, and these ones do not have the collision mesh that sort of makes it hover above the ground. This is for people who want the dice containers to be sitting on the table rather than floating off the ground a little bit like these ones. Now there is a little bit of a problem with this. If I can let's grab this 2. Basically, if I try and roll it, I still landed on a 2. Come on, still landed on a 2. Come on, roll. There we go. Anytime these are on a different face, if you pick them up, and this is a property of the infinite containers, it'll write itself back to its default world position, which in this case is the 2 up. Now, you can rotate it around, but you know, you can't rotate what face it is. So you can either edit the bitmap, or you can use the text editing of the file if you're a mod maker to float it up in the air, resize it, rotate it to wherever you'd like. My point is, they're hard to position the way you like them if you don't want the default faces that are visible here. There is a small trick you can do though, if you want to get around that. Basically, let's just grab the D6 from the actual dice section. So this is actually a dice. You can use the roll function or whatever. Once you get this on the face that you want it to be on, say we want it like that, you can just right click on it, go custom, and change it to an infinite dice container, and then, you know, it's become an infinite dice container. Then all you got to do is put a dice in it. So let's grab do we have any dice that aren't locked? Here, we'll grab this one. So we'll grab this dice, chuck it in, and now it's an infinite dice container, but it's no longer, the point is it's no longer got the same orientation over here. I know that's a bit of a pain and everything, but it's these ones here are kind of for modders who want to edit the text file, and these ones that float above the ground are just, you just pick them up and dump them and they're ready to go. And that is pretty much that. Oh wait, actually there's one more thing. I also created a PSD file for you guys. Now, this PSD file's got folders. Each folder is the numeric numbers plus a UV layout. So here you can see the UV layout for the D10. I can just turn on all these things and I now have the faces for the D10. And once you do, then if you turn off the UV layer, you can access the color layers behind. Now these are the colors that I've provided inside the game, but you can make anything you want. And of course you can just, you know, take any color you wish. So we want to have a sort of light mauvey purple, and we can fill, and Bob's your uncle. Also, of course, all the text is actually non-destructive, so you can edit it, change it to whatever you want. You can even go in and change the effects that I've used. So you can, you know, instead of having white text, you could have dark text if you are using a super light background color. And of course, say you want to make a D6, but you want it to be kind of funky, you can turn on the UV layer, and this will give you the layout for you to add your own images, and you can put in any images you want and load it up in the game. And to put it into the game, of course, you just take the dice or whatever, you right click, you go custom, and you can just change the diffuse image map to whatever you want, and that's that. Okay, so that's that. And I will see you guys next time. I hope you guys like this. Yeah, bye.